Morning, welcome back to Little Hollow Homestead. This morning I'm going to show you how I ferment my chicken mash to feed my chickens. Especially during the winter, I find it helps them get more out of their feed. You can use beans, sprout, just about anything, wheat, and it increases the nutritional value for your chickens. I do this for my pigs as well, but especially in the wintertime, I like to do it for my chickens. So I'll kind of show you the process. It's really simple. We'll fill these bins up and we'll show you how it works. So all I do, I've got a couple of these smaller buckets that I use to ferment my feed in. You want to be careful not to fill your bucket too full because it will expand as it starts to ferment. Let me put this on the ground so I can do this a little easier. So I've got two buckets, so I'm going to get enough to fill two buckets about a third of the way full. There's Red coming to check out, see what I'm doing. Is that okay if I ferment some food for you? Except for that piece, and that piece, and that piece, and that one. Now Easy's got to come check it out. Yep, we're going to go ferment it. Okay, we'll take this up. I do it in the garage during the winter time because it'll freeze. So you want it to be, it doesn't need to be really warm, but it does help it to be, you know, room temperature, at least above freezing, so the fermentation process can take place. So we'll take it up and we'll show you how that process goes. It's a pretty simple process. You want to fill them all the way up with water. Should turn that on a little higher. I reached behind me to get my stir stick and look who has it. Thanks. She's sharpening one end for me, I guess. So once you get it full, this is a standard issue stick, my fermenting stick. You can find them on any tree. Anyway, you just want to make sure it's good and mixed. You don't want any dry spots in there. I usually rotate between the two buckets, but I ran out this time. There she is, checking up on me again. But I ran out this time, so we're gonna do two batches. And you could feed this to them every day, but I try to at least give them a bucket about once a week or so. So we'll finish getting these mixed up and show you where we put them in the mixed. I got plenty of water in there. It passes her inspection. We'll give the stir stick back to Izzy for safekeeping. Maybe? No? Yeah, okay. Take good care of it, Iz. So now they're nice and full, good mixed up. I just store them here in the garage. Usually takes anywhere between 3 to 4 days. I'll bring you back in about 3 days and show you what's going on. Should start bubbling. You never want to put lids on these tight because as the grain ferments in there, it will expand and pop your lid off. A lot of people like to cover them with cheesecloth or a piece of cardboard or something. I just leave them open. It's, you know, the water's not going to evaporate and my dog's not going to get into it, so I just leave them like that. As we discuss the top 10 reasons to ferment your chicken feed, I've got my trusty assistants. Say hello, Alice. Alice, say hello. Hello. Speechless. Okay, so now our feed's been fermenting for 1 day. Let me show you what it looks like. The grand dog loves it. That's gonna help you too, huh? It's gonna help your belly. Anyway, you can see it's just getting nice and mushy. Really no fermentation really going on yet at 1 day, but that's 1 day. So now, I was out of scratch the other day, but you can ferment just regular chicken scratch as well. So I'm not going to go to the work of putting the hose together again. Every time you use the hose in our climate, you've got to drain it. So I'm just going to fill it directly off the house. And we'll start the process. We're 1 day behind on the scratch grain. Here again, you want to put tons of water in there, more water than you think you're going to need. The nice thing about having more water than you need, as this, you can kind of see what the water's turning into here. Kind of a soupy mess. But when the fermentation gets going in here, this water's got a head start. So your next batch, save some of this water and put in your fresh batch of chicken feed or scratch or whatever you're fermenting. And it kind of gives you a head start on your next batch. So we'll mix this up good again. With scratch grains, it really doesn't need to be mixed very much because it really doesn't clump. The water's going to get around the grain. So there you go. We'll give the stir stick to the grand dog. Sven, that's for you. There you go. And we'll go put this bucket in with the other buckets in the garage. And this is 1 day in, so this will be a day behind. We'll show you the finished product in another couple of days with this, and probably 3 or 4 days with this. Okay, we're back. We had to give it an extra day to let this feed ferment. I think mainly due to the cold temperatures, but we're going to go ahead and drain some of the water off and save it, and then we'll go feed the chickens, see how they like it. So if you look down in that barrel, this is the scratch grain that we've got fermenting. This was a day behind this stuff. I don't know if you can see the bubbles. There's some good bubbles that you can see. Anyway, this is the leg mash that we're going to feed them. It's been fermented for 5 days now, so it should be just like they like it. We'll drain some of this water off and save it for our next batch of fermented grain. Give it a little head start. So I'll do that, and then we'll take one of these buckets down and feed today. Here we go. We'll get some of that water that's already fermented and gotten a head start. Once again, hard to do one-handed. Almost impossible to do one-handed. There we go. Okay. Countdown has begun for this one. We'll give it a good stir. Put it in line. This is our next batch. And this is the scratch. It's a few days behind. But I don't know if you can tell, but that is really mushy. Really mushy stuff. Which makes it easy for the chickens to digest. It gets all those good probiotics and all the other stuff we've talked about in this video. So there you go. So if you look, this is after I drained the liquid off the top, the water off the top. It's kind of a soupy, kind of a pasty kind of feel to it. The easiest way to tell if it's fermented or not is just give it a little sniff. And that definitely smells just a little funky, which is just like you like it. You don't want to leave it until it gets moldy, which usually isn't a problem in the wintertime. Summertime, if you leave it too long, it will get moldy. And you don't want to feed that to your chickens, but that is just got enough funk to it that the chickens will gobble it up. So let's load it up and we'll head down. Whoop, hello. Got a good snowfall the other day, about 8 inches, but it's melted pretty good the last couple of days. It's been decently warm. We will head down into the hollow once again. See if our chickens are hungry. They've been out free ranging. Pretty good little hustlers in the snow, aren't you, girls? They get right after it. left this open 2 nights ago, and the deer came in and came after the pumpkins. They took quite a few of them out. There's some of that leftover food that I get from my work from time to time. I think that's macaroni and cheese. Izzy likes it. Looks like they did okay. They like it a little bit. But here's my little feeder that's under the snow. I like to put the fermented feed on something that's going to help keep it up out of the dirt. In this case, snow. And let the chickens get after it. See how that's kind of pasty looking? That's what you like. Can't do this one-handed, so I'll dump it in and get right back to you. Okay, there you go. You can see the finished product there. You can see how it's kind of mushy, little gooey. And there again, it's got that smell to it. It kind of tastes like sour cream, or it smells like sour cream rather, and I'm not tasting it. Let's see if we can get some contestants here to try out our fermented feed. Come in, girls. Dinner's ready. Come on, Red. Gooch. Look, I got a treat for you. Go. Go, go, go. Scooch, scooch. There she goes. Oh, she's four-wheeling. Come on, girls. Come check it out. Let's see if we can entice them in. We have been walking on this snow pretty well. You can see their path right down the middle over to their feed and water. But I think since the gate's open, I think that's what motivates them to get out and get going. I think if the gate was closed, they would probably just huddle up in their hen house. Here we go. Let's see what she thinks. Oh, yeah. Izzy, you're messing things up. She'll have a side of mac and cheese to go, please. Well, while we're waiting for them, let's check out the egg situation. Yeah, we got 2. Nice. In the wintertime with no supplemental light. 2 in that box. Let's see what we got in this one. We got a blank. That's okay. 2 eggs a day. It's probably more than I need anyway at this time of year. Well, we'll see if we can get Izzy to finish her lunch. Then we'll get her out of here and we'll get some footage of the chickens enjoying the fermented feed. Nothing like watching the chickens for some good therapy. These guys sure do a good job with keeping the bugs down. I'm sure they eat a ton of weed seed, which is awesome. But they're doing pretty good. I had a couple of them molting. That one molted, but she's done. And then my other 2 barn builders are here. Oh, there's one. That little girl up there, you can see her. She is right in the middle of a molt. You kind of see her feathers are looking scraggly. But her new ones are coming back. So now I got a few in there. Izzy, come here. She thinks they're stealing her macaroni and cheese. Izzy, come here, please. Stay out. Is. Picture. Anyway, kind of tell the chickens really enjoy that little variety. Oh, get her to focus on the right thing there. There we go. Get that fence out of the way. Keep you out. No, no, no. Anyway, there you go. The chickens really like the fermented feed, which is, you know, good enough reason for me to make the effort to do it for them. Definitely will improve their health overall during these winter months where it gets so cold. And as long as the snow is spotty and not a complete thick blanket, they'll come out and they'll root all winter long up in this oak brush and up on the flat there where it does dry out. Don't know where she's digging to. She found something good in there. Oh, there you go. There's a little worm. They get a lot of variety in their diet anyway, but they do enjoy fermented feed, and it's good to provide them with as much variety as possible. So there you go. Happy chickens, healthy chickens. We're all tucked in for winter for the most part, and we'll keep this process up. I'll fill that empty bucket up with some more mash. Go up and we'll start the process all over again and just keep it rotated. About every 4 days we'll dump them a bucket that size, which is probably, I don't know, 2.5 gallons ish, and that should sustain my 9 chickens for quite a few days. So on behalf of myself and Miss Izzy, we appreciate you stopping by Little Hollow Homestead this afternoon. Hope some of this information was valuable. You can give it a try and see what you think. Like I said, I've been raising chickens for about 60 years now, ever since I was a kid. And we always didn't do this. I probably started doing this probably in the 90s, as long as I've been doing this. Anyway, they love it, as you can tell. And anyway, hope this information was valuable to you. Maybe you learned a little something. If you got suggestions, feel free to leave them. Comments are welcome. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like, and we'll leave you here today and catch you on the next one. Thanks.